Welcome back. And here in Nigeria, the Theatre Command of the Northeast Counterinsurgency War, Operation Lafia Dole, is encouraging troops to begin to take the war to the insurgents. The general gave the charge at the headquarters of the 120 Battalion, Goniri, one of the strategic locations of the theatre in Yobe State, which the insurgents attempted to overrun recently.
The fighting troops, both rank and file of the 120 Battalion Goniri of the Nigerian Army, are in high spirits, celebrating their defeat of insurgents who recently attacked their base. The intention of the assailants was to dislodge the military location, which had successfully happened in some parts controlled by the theatre last month. But the 120 Battalion resisted the attack and recovered a cache of arms and vehicles, most likely looted from previous attacks. While celebrating the courage of the troops, the theatre commander charged them to launch more attacks in the camps of the militants.
Yes, we had my address from them that we don't want the Boko Haram bringing the battle to their camp. We want them to go after the Boko Haram, hunt for them, neutralize them so that the job will be done faster.
In another part of the theatre, the northern axis of Borno State, a similar attack was launched by the insurgents in Gajigana village a few days ago, leading to a fierce gun battle. Again, the troops successfully repelled the attack, recovering trucks also seized by the insurgents in previous attacks. The General Officer commanding 7th Division, Brigadier General Abdul Malik Bulama, commended the triumphant troops who happily displayed their recoveries.
We've killed a lot numbers of them. They are on the slides that we've presented to you. It's real. And how you will know that they are the ones, and I will leave you to your emotions, is that match it. Look at the pictures of this vehicle very well. Take note of this vehicle, take note of this equipment that we have displayed. Match it with the picture. Then you will understand it's not an ordinary ammunition.
In northern Borno and the Lake Chad region, areas known to be their stronghold, this new directive is expected to help the army gain more successes against militants.
Let's take you to Zimbabwe now, where small-scale farmers are returning to the coffee harvesting sector that was all but destroyed under former President Robert Mugabe. Zimbabwe is not among the world's top producers, but its Arabica coffee is prized for its zesty and fruity tones, and the sector once provided a livelihood for more than 20,000 poor farmers. Well, welcome to our Africa Tech segment. A lot has been said on how to bridge the gap between men and women in technology, as several organizations have launched initiatives to increase the numbers of women in the field. Some experts believe that women are as talented as the men, and if given the chance, they will make a lot of changes in the industry. Our guest on the program, Ketura Ovio, founder and CEO, Kindle, belongs to this school of thought. Ketura, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa today. So firstly, I think the main question is, are you happy with the number of women in technology at the moment? Would you say there is enough?
I'm actually dissatisfied with the number. I don't think we're enough, especially in Nigeria and Africa. I think we need to do more to, really rank up that number.
What can be done, especially from a young age, to encourage more young girls to go into that sector?
I think those of us in the industry right now, we have a lot to do. We need to do a lot of education. I think we need to share a lot of our stories. We need to let them see that engineering, tech is not boring. It's actually a very interesting career path. Software is eating the world. Jobs that exist today will not exist tomorrow. So everything is moving towards the sciences. It only makes sense for more young people, especially young girls, to pursue a career in STEM, in technology, because that's where the future is. I think, education, I think we need to create programs that can be taken by these young girls, during weekends, during summer holidays, other holidays. I think we need to rework our current curriculum in our secondary and primary and even nursery school. We need to expose to these young ones early enough technology, computers, so it builds, it helps to shape their minds and the way they view things and how creative they can get. I think we need to do all of that.
Apart from education as well, I think one of the negative thoughts that we have now is a lot of people have this notion that the technology industry is largely for men. How can we change that?
I think we can only change that by doing the work, actually. I don't believe, obviously that, this industry is just for men. I think I'm a woman and I've always been in tech for as long as I remember. I was exposed to computer early enough, thanks to my parents. I, studied engineering in school. I worked as a software engineer. So I've always been in engineering. Clearly, I was obviously, us girls in school were outnumbered by the men. But it did not make us feel any bit inferior. It was actually interesting and exciting for us to see that, we actually measured up and even, superseded expectations and topped our class. So I don't think it's a man or male-dominated industry. I think to change the narrative, I think we just need to pump in more girls. that's the solution. We need to encourage more girls to go into the industry. And if you look around the world today, North America and Europe, more women are going into engineering, into as UI UX designers, as founders, as full stack developers. So there's a whole range of specialty or specification where women can specialize across tech. So it's, I think we need to push. We need to open this up to young girls and women at any age who are also looking to change careers, and let them know that there's a lot that you can choose from and you can choose to focus on.
Yeah. Do you think there are enough local success stories of women who have excelled in technology that can serve as role models for these girls, especially here in Nigeria?
We have enough. If we do, then we're doing a terrible job sharing our stories. I think that might also be a factor here. If there's no role model for you to look up to and say, oh, this person did it, this woman did it, so I can do it. It doesn't do much to encourage, people who are aspiring to take that career path. So I think we need more success stories, and a few women, I'm guilty as well, that are in the industry need to tell our journey, tell our stories, share our pain, share our successes, so we can encourage and inspire the next generation to come after us.
And Keturah, just really quickly, for any women or young girl out there wanting to go into the sector, what advice do you have for them?
I would say never box yourself, never let anyone to tell you can't. You're only limited by what you say you are or you're not. So I think I would say be curious, be very curious, be teachable, be willing and ready to learn. You don't have to have a physical mentor to mentor you. You can go online. You can find loads of mentors by reading. Their stories, their life stories, by looking into and joining communities that have women entrepreneurs or women founders in tech that you can learn, from their experience. And you never know, one of them might take interest in you and mentor you. So I think, just be curious and be teachable. That's all I'll say.
All right, then, Keturah Ovio, founder and CEO of Kindle, thank you so much for speaking to us on the Network Africa today. Thank you. Well, that's the program for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Temiola Shibwale. Have a lovely weekend.